Hey everybody, welcome back. Dirty Water Coins and Collectibles here. Today we're going to have hopefully a fun hunt. I couldn't get my hands on many quarters. I tried to do all customer wrap stuff. I got 2 customer wrap quarters, 4 Loomis rolls. I got some dimes, a couple of Loomis wrapped, quite a few nickels. Odd though, because I was trying to take a peek at some of them. These ones have the holes at the bottom of them, and they looked like 2022s. So I don't know how the nickels are going to go, not lickles. And then some pennies. And I'm hoping it turns out to be a good hunt, and that they're not all previously hunted rolls. My plan is to start with the quarters, then the dimes, nickels, and pennies. It's all going to be one video. Hopefully we can find some cool stuff. I'm excited to get into it. We're going to be looking for all kinds of stuff. Obviously the quarters, we're going to look for W's, silver, proofs, errors, always errors and varieties. The dimes, silver, same thing, proofs, varieties. It's tough to find stuff in the dimes. Dimes really affect my eyes, but I'm going to do my best. Nickels, we'll look for foreigns, silver, key dates, proofs, you name it, and same type of stuff on the pennies. So let's get into this hunt. Hopefully we find some good stuff. And you know the drill. I will bring you in for anything that we find. This may be a long video, or it could be a short video. If it's a long video, I apologize, but hopefully it's long for a reason. All right, let's get into this. See you in a minute. All right, so for the quarters, I have 6 rolls. So I'll bring you in for the openings on these, because I don't get to do quarters all that often. We can see if we find anything here. We'll check together on the opening. I don't see anything staring at us. So let me get into these. If I find anything, I'll bring you in. All right, roll 1 was a bust. Let's see what we have in roll 2. Keep your fingers crossed for silver, guys. Not seeing any silver. Some shiny edges. All right, let me get into it, and I'll bring you in if I find something. All right, roll 2 gives us a 2005 Kansas with a minor In God We Rust grease strike. You can see the T here is almost missing. I'm not going to keep this one. I'm going to throw this one back, but I just wanted to bring you in, show you what it would look like. Sometimes you have the T is gone, the G is gone. Sometimes the I, G, O, and T are gone. This one's just a minor strike through. I'm going to toss this one back. All right, roll 3. Come on. Not seeing any silver. Let me get into this. Bring you in if I find anything. All right, roll 3 was a bust. Let's get into 4. Nothing staring at me. This is really thick though, this one. The D-mint, okay. All right, let me get through these. Bring you in if we find anything. 4 was nothing. Let's see if 5 has anything for us. Not seeing anything. Let me get into this. I'll bring you in. If I find anything, I'm not hopeful on the quarters or the dimes really, but we'll see. All right, roll 5 gave us 2 finds. So this one I have a Bessie Coleman 2023 with a really nice sized die chip on the top of the wing here. If you guys don't know where that is or what I'm looking at, it's right here. This blob of metal is not supposed to be there. So that's a good find. And then I found my first, I don't even know how to say this. Let me see. Edith Kanakaole. I haven't found any of these because I haven't gotten any quarters. But what I'm looking at is in the K and the A. There's some good die chips in here. I haven't seen anybody talk about these. We got a die chip in here. This whole area here is full of die chips. And I just looked at the E right here. Kind of looks like it's doubled. There's something right there. Didn't really have a chance to check out the whole coin, because that just kind of caught my eye. There is a clash die for this quarter that I did look for and I don't have, but that's a pretty cool find there. Let me check the obverse. I'm not seeing anything out of the ordinary. All right, so 2 finds in roll 5. Let's get into roll 6, see if we can pull anything else out. All right, last quarter roll. And let's see. Not seeing silver. So let me get into this and bring you in if I come across something. All right, roll 6 gave us a bicentennial, and we got robbed a little bit of a 1983 D Roosevelt dime. Let's get into the dimes. I'll bring you back if we have anything. Roll 1 in the dimes. Now, would you guys think that that was silver? Because I didn't. I thought it was just a nasty dime, but listen. You can hear it. We have a 1947 out of Philly. Awesome. Looks like it was burnt, but I'll take it. First find for the dimes. Bring it back in if I find anything else. All right, we're on roll number 6, and I have a 1954 Canadian. So we have 80% silver. I'll take that all day long. That's awesome. It's a young head. Definitely nasty, but silver. Let me finish out this roll. I'll bring it back in on the next find. All right, I just opened up a custom wrapped roll. I see something here. That could be a Canadian. The reading looks different, but let's see. It may not be anything. And so it's a Canadian. Is it a 1990 something? 1999. All right, let me get into this roll. I'll bring you in if I find anything else. Sorry about that. I think I'm on roll 24, and we have a 2009 low mintage out of Denver. Nope, that's Philly. So that's a good find. Those are very tough to come by. This one's in fairly decent shape too. All right, let me put this aside. Get into the next roll. All right, dimes are hunted. We have a 1947 Silver Rosie, 1954 Younghead Canadian, 1999 Foreign Canadian, and a 2009 Philly Low Mintage. So not all in all, not a bad hunt for the dimes. 2 silvers out of that. Hardly find 1 silver in a full box. All right, we're gonna get into the nickels next. Here we are. Bring in on our next find. All right, roll number 2 for nickels. I'll probably lose track of the rolls, but we have our first find. We have a, let's see, 1941 out of Philly. Put it aside as a find, bring it back in on the next one. Still on roll 2, we have a 1916 with a nice die crack, and looks like maybe a retained cud, die chip, and a die chip. So that's a nice coin. It's in good shape. So I'll put this one aside as a find, bring it back in on the next one. All right, still on roll 2. We have a 1922 Philly under the scope with a DDO. So you see the extra thickness and notching in the I and in the N. But again, I don't see much other than that. So we're going to put this one aside, a little bit in the R. I'm sorry, in the S. Put this aside as a find and continue on the hunt. I'll bring you back in on the next one. Roll number 4 gives us a nice 1983 out of Philly. No steps though. And a 2020 out of Philly with a nice beehive die chip on the side of the Monticello building. So we'll put these aside as finds, keep on the hunt, and bring you back in on the next one. All right, I'm on like roll 7 or something like that. We have a 1953 out of Denver and another 1983. This one actually has steps. It's a little cruddy, but it's actually in decent shape if it wasn't for all the muck on it. All right, let's get back into the hunt. All right, I went through quite a few rolls. Right here I have just a couple of nice examples of a 1961. I think this one was a Denver. 1987 Denver. This is a 1959 Denver, Philly. A 1941 Philly. And under the scope I have a 1939 Philly. It's not the DDO that most people look for. I'm not even sure if it's a DDO, to be honest with you, but if you look at the thickness on these letters, and this isn't damage because the coin itself is in good shape, but the thickness on the letters is very extreme. And I did check on doubledie.com, and there is a variety, the DDR007, that this one potentially could be. I mean, those letters are extremely thick. So I'm thinking maybe the DDR007. So we're going to put this aside as a find. I'll bring you back in on the next one. All right, just went through another 5 rolls. I have a decent shaped 1978, a nice 96 out of Philly. We have a 1940 another 1939, and we got robbed on a penny. At least it's copper, so we didn't lose too much money. 1964D. So we'll put these aside as fines. Get into the next 5 rolls. Alright, so the next 5 rolls gives us a 1981 out of Denver in good shape. We'll check it against the album. A really nice 2011. It almost looked proof-like when I was searching. An 87 Philly that we'll check against the album. We have another 1939, also out of Philly. 1940, a 1948, a nice 1951, a 1956, and another stowaway. We have a Canadian 1979. Under the scope, I have a 2022 out of Philly. So most of you who watch my channel know about this era of variety. So we have the line that comes through the eye. Some of the stronger ones, you have a line kind of like right here, a line in here. And this is a Clash die. You can see Jefferson's eye on the reverse here, some of it here. Sometimes you can see lines in the Monticello. You have a couple lines out here. This might be part of it here, but it's kind of weak. So we have another Clash die, 1922 Philly. Let me get into the next 5 rolls. I'll bring you in at the end. Alright, those 5 rolls weren't as fruitful, but we have a 1987D in decent shape and a 1946 out of Philly. We get into those last 5 rolls. I'll bring you in on our finds. Alright, those last 5 rolls gave us a damaged 1947, a damaged 1955 out of Denver, a nice 1959 Denver, a decent 1983 with some steps on the reverse, a nice 1987D, our first foreign nickel, 2013 Canadian, and a really nice 1962D. I have this one over here at the end because I was looking at the mint mark. Now there's nothing, I did check Variety Vista and Wexler's. There's nothing showing, so I don't know if this is damage or if it could be in RPM that's just not listed, but I'm just not sure. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments. If you think this could be an RPM or just damage. Let me try rotating a little bit, see if we can get any different views on it. I mean, that looks like something there. That looks like something that comes here and then swings in inside this D here. I don't know. Could be pareidolia. See, I mean, that looks like something to me. Zoom out. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments on this one. I'm curious. Because like I said, there's nothing listed for 62D under the Jefferson nickels. All right, let me get everything together. I'll bring you in for the nickel wrap-up. All right, so these are our nicer coins that I held aside. 1961, 78, 81 out of Denver. We have a few 1983s that were decent, a few 1987s that were decent, a really nice 1996, and a nice 2011. We did find 3 1939s, and after looking at all of these in comparison, I don't think that other one was a DDO, but I could be wrong. Then we have 2 1940s out of Philly, 2 1941s out of Philly, 1946 out of Philly, 1947, 1948. Coming down to the 50s, we have a 1951 out of Philly, a 53 out of Denver, 55 out of Denver, 56 out of Philly, and a 59 out of Philly and Denver. For our foreigns and oddities, 2013 Canadian nickel, 1979 Canadian penny, and a 1964 D Lincoln. And then for our finds, we have a 2016 with the die crack and possibly a retained cut on the inside. A 2020 with the beehive die chip on the side of Monticello. I have 2 2022s that were die clashed, and this 1962D that may or may not be a RPM. I'm going to look more into that because it looks off to me. I mean, the coin itself is gorgeous though. So, all right, those are our nickel finds. Get into the pennies. All right, into the pennies we go. 29 rolls of customer wrapped. I'll pull this one from the back just because it kept falling over. We'll get into the rolls, bring you in on our first find. All right, so the first 5 rolls were hunted. I have a nice 1960. It's got a scratch in it, but still in nice shape. And a 1946 wheat. From this point forward, I will do 4 rolls across, and I'll bring you in if I find anything. See what we can pull. Rolls 6 through 9 give us a nice 1981 Philly, 1989 Canadian, 1972 S, a Blazer 1959 Philly, 1952 Denver Wheatie, and I do have a 2004 under the scope, and it looks like doubling right in here. So I'm gonna have to look that up, and I'll get back to you all, see if this is a known variety. But until then, let's get back into the hunt. Rolls 10 through 13 were almost a bust until I got to roll 13, and we have a few finds. I have a 1980D that I'm going to hold aside to see if we need it for the album. I gotta start pulling some D mint marks. Right here we have a 2015 with a DDR. So that JFM is much thicker than it's supposed to be. And up in here, E pluribus unum, the letters are much thinner and elongated. Like that S you can see at the top is fatter, but they're much thinner, which is normal because this is incuse. So the letters will not have your typical doubling. And then I have another 2015 with doubling in, why is that so, doubling in the numbers. So it's extra thick here, down in here. The 1 is a little bit thicker. You see the 5 is a little thicker. There's not much else on this particular variety, but I'm going to show you the reverse in comparison to the other 2015 You can see the JFM here is, why is it so, that JFM is much thinner, and then these letters are a lot thicker. So I have two different doubling patterns. We have a DDO and a DDR. I will look those up and place those at the bottom of the screen. Let me get into rolls 14 through 17, and I'll bring you back in for our finds. 14 through 17 gives us 3 finds. We have a 1972D that'll hold aside for the album. We have a 1950S, which I don't believe that we have in the album. It's in really nice shape. And a 1956D that I do believe that we have in the album, but that might upgrade. So that's 3 finds for 14 through 17. Let me get through 18 through 22, and I'll bring you back in on the next find. My mistake, 18 through 21. Be right back. Rolls 18 through 21. I have some coins I pulled for the album potentially. A 1975D, 1982D, 1973P, and a 1973D. Those all have some cool toning to them. I found 2 1964 Youngheads. I have a 1953 Philly wheat cent and a 1955 Denver wheat cent. So here's our finds again here. I have another 2015 DDR. Now this one's different than the other one. That looks relatively the same, but the LB is much thicker than the other one. Still have doubling in E pluribus unum, but this die chip here is not on the first one that I showed. So I have to look this one up as well as the other one. So we have that one. I have a 2013, which has some minor doubling in the 2 and the 0. Some in the RTY. I'll look this one up. I'll put the whichever variety is under the date under here. And I came across this 2017 P, and I looked at this for about 20 seconds trying to figure out if maybe it was a grease strike and it was missing the mint mark. But the mint mark is right here. You can see the P right there. I had to compare it against other 2017s. Those are our finds for 18 through 21. Let me go through 22 to 25. Bring you back in with the finds. All right, those 4 rolls were hunted. I pulled a 1970 just to check against the album, 61D, 70D. We have our Canadians, 1986. This 2010 is amazing. You don't really find these all that often in circulation. You usually find the older dates. So 2010 is nice. 1987 and a 1969. Now for the finds. We have a 2015. There's a lot of shield scents in these rolls, which I like. So this one here, you can see the extra thickness on ERTY. And these coins are in great shape too. So we have a DDO here. Might be a little extra thickness in that too. But the find so far of the hunt is another shield scent, 2015. See if I can turn my light down a little bit here, if that helps. Look at the clashing on this. You can see Unum. Pretty good. Look at that. That's awesome. You have a U, the N, the U. This is probably the best Clash die I've ever found. Look at that. Look at the clashing in the shield area here. You have lettering down here. You can see shield in here, right there. I honestly didn't even check the reverse of this, so I'll have to do that too. Look at that. That's amazing. That is awesome. Look at the E. I've never found a Clash like this on Ascent. That's so cool. I geek out about the errors, as you can see. Let's see if I can spin this and get a better view. Yeah, look at that. That's awesome. All right, let me see if there's anything on the reverse of this. Sometimes there's stuff in the shield. Yeah, like right there. You can see it right in here. That's so cool. This one's definitely getting flipped up. Is that clashing? Oh, there we go, right up here. If clashing right in here. I don't know what's in that C area there. That could just be like, I don't know. That's awesome. Is there some up here? That scratch. Some die chip at the top of the shield. All right, I spent enough time on this one. Let's get through 26 through 29, and that'll be a wrap. All right, that's it. 29 rolls hunted. We're all done. Kind of disappointed. That was a fun hunt. Let me show you what we found on the last roll. I don't know what country these are from, but I'm actually kind of happy that I found it because I'm actually collecting them. They form a shield. So if you guys know what country it is, let me know. So I think this one is down the bottom. I believe the dime goes in the middle. And then I don't know where this one goes either. But they do form a shield. I think I have a picture of it in my phone, which I can try to upload with this video. But someone forced this into one of the customer wrapped rolls. You can see that it's not even close to the size of a penny. It's more like the size of a nickel. So we found that. We have a 1968 Canadian. I pulled this 99 just because of the weird like tiger stripes on it. And there's really not much of anything else on the reverse. You can see some blackening on there, but I thought that was pretty cool, so I pulled that aside. We have a 1968 Blazer. So that one's nice. And then we found another 1950 S wheat cent. So those are our finds. Let me get everything together, and I'll bring you in for the penny wrap up. All right, here's our wrap up for the pennies. We have Canadians 1964, 1964, 68, 69, beat up 86, 87, 89, and that beautiful 2010. We also have, where are we here? Some coins that I pulled to check against the album: 61D, 80D, 68, 73, 70, 75D, 70D, 81, 72D, 60, which I don't think will upgrade, but it might. That scratch in it, I don't know. 73D, 59, and 82D. And then for the finds, we have that 2004. I did look it up. It does have a listing on Copper Coins, number 3, but they said it is not a DDO. It's possibly a die chip or a clash. So it's not a DDO. It could be something different. We have this weird tiger stripe, I don't know, Spider-Man logo type thing on here. We have our 2015 DDOs and DDRs. 2013 DDO. We have one 40s wheat cent, 1946. Two 1950S's, 1952D, 1953. Two 1956 Denvers. And then for the finds of the hunt, this 1 penny, again, that creates a shield, and this 2015 Clash die. This thing was awesome. That's definitely going to go into the collection. And that's it for our hunt. So ladies and gents, if you made it all the way through, I do appreciate it. And I would ask that if you're not subscribed, if you would subscribe. Also hit that notification bell. That way you'll get notified on every one of my videos that I upload. And if you could, and don't mind doing so, if you'd hit that like button, it helps the video get views on YouTube. Helps it to move along. So thank you for watching. Till the next one.